Thank you all for joining us for the President's Annual Update. As I think most of you know, there are lots of different ways in which the President interacts with different parts of campus, but twice a year we make a special effort to open it up to all faculty, staff, and students and related friends of the university. In the spring, we hear from Dr. Suresh, get an update on achievements and advancements here at the university. And then in the fall, we have the annual town hall, which is your chance to ask your questions and hear from the president in that format. So without any further ado, we're still getting some chairs in back, but I think we can get rolling as we're doing this. Great to see you all here. I'm delighted to welcome to the stage our student body president, Vasavi Unava.
Hi, everybody. I am extremely honored today to give an introduction for Dr. Suresh. He's been here for a little under 4 years, and in that short time, he has massively expanded Carnegie Mellon's campus, adding state-of-the-art facilities, resources, and services, and broadening CMU's global enterprise. Of course, his accomplishments at Carnegie Mellon are just a small part of his extensive resume. Most of us have heard of the impressive work that President Suresh has done, serving as the director of the National Science Foundation under President Obama, after serving as the dean of the School of Engineering for the Massachusetts Institute of Technology. He is one of only 19 Americans and the only university president in the National Academy for Medicine, the National Academy for Sciences, and the National Academy for Engineering, which is impressive, but a little intimidating when you're trying to work up the courage to ask him to take a selfie with you. But after working with President Suresh over the course of this year, I can say that he extends far beyond the accomplishments that I've listed. He is kind to everybody, regardless of standing. His dedication to serving and improving Carnegie Mellon exemplifies his humility. His dedication, he continues actively learning and listening, never assuming his experiences perfectly align with the truth. And perhaps most important, he consistently embraces a warm, bright sense of humor, even in the most difficult situations. President Suresh is the best of what I imagine it means to be part of the Carnegie Mellon community. And while it took him a little while to realize it himself, he's plaid to the bone. Please join me in welcoming the 9th president of Carnegie Mellon University, Dr. Suresh.
Thank you, Vasavi, for your very kind introduction. It's wonderful to see friends and colleagues from across the campus who are here today. I also want to acknowledge members of the senior leadership team and a number of deans who are here today. Thank you all for coming. And I would also want to acknowledge the presence of my boss, my wife, Mary Suresh, who's here. Thank you. I know some of you are here because you feel that if you don't come to my update, I may not come to your update. And as Yogi Berra, the famous American philosopher, once said, he always went to other people's funerals because he felt that if he didn't go to their funerals, they wouldn't come to his funeral. That is what is called a test joke, because I said that last year, and I want to see if you remember it from last year. And if you don't remember it, you didn't come here last year. So good afternoon, everybody, for the 2017 annual update. In addition to all of you who are gathered here today, I would also like to welcome our online audience of students, faculty, staff, alumni, parents, and incoming and prospective students who don't know yet that they will be students of Carnegie Mellon University. We are pleased that all of you are joining here today. We come each year to the community in two very different, distinct formats. In the fall, we have a town hall where the primary purpose is for me to address questions and concerns and thoughts that you have. In the spring, we have a different format, as for example today, where on behalf of the campus and the entire leadership team, I present to you an annual update to provide insights into recent university developments and provide a peek into our future. Let me start by recognizing some very significant CMU accomplishments by faculty and students over the past 6 months or so. Among our faculty, Tepper School of Business Professor Sridhar Tayur was elected to the National Academy of Engineering last month. I just saw Sridhar somewhere here. Sridhar, please stand up. Since I know you are here, he's in the back. Because it's public information, I'm not embarrassing Sridhar by saying this. In addition to being a pioneering researcher in his field at the Tepper School of Business, in addition to being very well accomplished in his profession and well known globally, and being an outstanding entrepreneur who has started successful companies, Sridhar gave $1 million to the construction of Tepper Quad building. So thank you, Sridhar. He and I went to the same undergraduate school, and he has been equally generous to that institution as well. He, a few years after I did. Professor Raj Kumar of the Department of Electrical and Computer Engineering was named a fellow of the National Academy of Inventors. Peter Cook, head of the School of Drama, was named a member of the Order of Australia in the Australia Day Honours List. If you see him next, please call him Sir Peter. And Professor Marty Grainer of the Heinz College was elected to the National Academy of Medicine last October. And last but not least, just a few months ago, computer science faculty members Justine Cassell, Manuela Veloso, and Todd Mowry, they were named 2016 Association of Computing Machinery, or ACM Fellows. These are great honors. Among our student body, a group of CMU students took 8th place out of more than 2,500 participants in the Hyperloop competition initiative created by Elon Musk. I had the pleasure of spending some time with them a number of months ago, and it's a very, very impressive team. Students in our Entertainment Technology Center won the People's Choice Award at the Kai Play Conference on human-computer interaction for their work with a virtual reality experience theme last year. And Crystal Thomas, a senior in the Mellon College of Science, was named to the 2016 class of Schwartzman Scholars, and she'll be spending a year in Beijing as one of the members of a very prestigious cohort of college graduates next year. And among our CMU student athletes, senior basketball player Lisa Murphy surpassed 2,000 career points and 1,000 career rebounds, becoming the only CMU player, the only player in the University Athletic Association, and only the 18th player in all of NCAA Division III history to reach those milestones. Congratulations, Lisa. And that's not all. In addition, Lisa and fellow senior Jackie Hoodpole were named to the Academic All-District Women's Basketball Team by the College Sports Information Directors of America for the second straight year. Our men's and women's track and field teams won the Denison University Bob Shannon Invitational last month, with the men winning it for the second straight year. And in keeping with our wonderful tradition here at Carnegie Mellon, which we have started celebrating, and we did that for the third year in December, When you do anything for 3 years, it becomes a tradition, and it'll continue to be a Carnegie Mellon tradition. In keeping with that tradition, 77 of our student athletes posted 4.0 grade point averages last semester. And I don't think any school can claim that kind of a student athlete scholar reputation in the country. Congratulations. There is no better time to be at Carnegie Mellon University. Why CMU? Why now? The world we live in today, our global society, is now considered to be in the very early stages of being completely transformed, but by what has been broadly referred to by leaders and shapers of technologies as Industry 4.0, or the fourth industrial revolution. It represents, at this point in human history, the unprecedented convergence of the physical, the cyber, and the biological worlds. This convergence has included an unprecedented pace of change that will have a profound impact on the lives and the livelihoods of individual citizens of the world. It will also have a profound impact on institutions, industries, and nations. The key ingredients of this revolution include robotics, artificial intelligence and data science, the Internet of Things, technology connecting with human behavior and humanity, human emotions, human psychology, autonomous systems, ethics, and policy. Carnegie Mellon pioneered many key ingredients of these areas over the past several decades. How successful we are as a human race in the years and decades to come will depend critically on not only how we maximize the intended benefits of this rapid change, but equally how we minimize the unknown drawbacks, the known drawbacks, and the unintended consequences of these technologies. Our successes, then, will depend critically on collective efforts for which Carnegie Mellon is globally recognized. Not only pioneering discoveries in science and engineering, computing, robotics, etc., all the items that I mentioned, but equally in the consequences of technology on humanity, areas such as ethics, policy, economics, labor, business, decision sciences, psychology, interface of technology with the fine arts, privacy, confidentiality, cybersecurity, so on and so forth. It is for that reason I strongly believe, and many of us in this room believe, that Carnegie Mellon is uniquely positioned to impact the global society more so than at any other point in our long and distinguished history. This unique combination of excellence and strengths covering many dimensions of the human condition is the reason we are receiving increasingly greater attention from industries that want to locate in Pittsburgh, close to our campus. Federal government creating major entities that are led by Carnegie Mellon University. Greater visibility and engagement for CMU in gatherings such as the World Economic Forum, major presence at events such as the Tony Awards on Broadway, and growing number of key intellectual centers funded at CMU by the private sector. As I address you today, the university is fully engaged in advancing our strategic priorities, attracting and retaining outstanding and diverse talent, enhancing the CMU experience, and building excellence all across Carnegie Mellon. As you can see, The implementation of the university's strategic plan will touch everyone at Carnegie Mellon: faculty, staff, students, alumni, parents, etc. Our strengths in education, research, and creativity impact the economic and cultural life of the Pittsburgh region, the nation, and the world as we pursue strategic partnerships and focus on solving societal challenges and raise global visibility for the university. Attracting and retaining outstanding and diverse talent necessarily requires building a healthy and growing endowment. And since I last spoke to you in the fall at my town hall, we as a community have made great strides. Let me give you some data. Let's start with some recent numbers, and let's look at it historically. Our university was founded in 1900. It took us about 107 years to reach our first $1 billion in endowment in the year 2007. Today, our total endowment, as of December of 2016, our total endowment at Carnegie Mellon, that's allocated to Carnegie Mellon, has surpassed $2 billion for the first time in our history. This includes permanent funds directly managed by us and funds assigned to Carnegie Mellon but managed by outside entities. In the last 3.5 years, this total value of our endowment has increased by almost 60%. Thanks to more than 450 contributors, 255 current undergraduates and graduate students at Carnegie Mellon now benefit from an endowment for presidential fellowships and scholarships, the current total value of which stands at $285 million. As part of this growing endowment pool set aside in perpetuity to benefit students, we announced a pledge from CMU trustee Frank Bronkhorst for many presidential scholarships for undergraduate students with his new gift of $10 million that was just announced this week. In the last few months, we've also added it to our permanent endowment many new professorships for our outstanding faculty members, and these will be allocated to professors in the coming few years. For example, this week we announced a $5 million gift for the Buncher Chair for the head of the School of Music. This is the largest gift to the School of Music in our history. In our efforts to better equip ourselves in our quest to attract outstanding and diverse talent, we have added a new singular online portal that anyone from the CMU community, as well as faculty and staff recruits, students, and the general public, can now get a better view of the broader range of diversity and inclusion efforts across the university. We're also building resources for staff development and to support all our efforts across CMU, including leadership training for staff and faculty. Just as faculty and staff development and diversity efforts are drawing new support, other areas of the university also continue to attract new support from corporate, governmental, institutional, and individual partners. Let me just give you a few examples that have happened just in the last few months or so. A great example of this was last November when we announced a $10 million gift from K&L Gates to study the policy and practical ethics of artificial intelligence. I mentioned earlier that ethics and policy are key ingredients of how technology will shape our lives in the years and decades to come. CMU has unique strengths in this area, in the Dietrich College, for example, and across the university, and this was recognized by the K&L Gates gift last fall. Another gift from PricewaterhouseCoopers that could reach as much as $31 million over 5 years serves to enhance our existing partnerships and to create and support a new university center, the Risk and Regulatory Services Innovation Center, led by the Heinz College of Public Policy and Management. We also celebrated a $25 million gift from ANSYS, a Pittsburgh area global leader in engineering simulation, which will fund construction of a new cornerstone building, not just for the engineering college, but also for the entire university community on our campus to propel a growing maker ecosystem. Carnegie Mellon will receive $14 million over the next 5 years from the US Department of Transportation to establish Mobility 21, a new national university transportation center that will focus on improving the safety and efficient mobility of people and goods in the 21st century. We also recently announced that the Department of Defense and more than 100 partner organizations have contributed together more than $250 million to what was announced as the American Robotics, an independent institute founded by Carnegie Mellon University and located in Pittsburgh to launch an advanced robotics manufacturing institute. Among the most noteworthy gifts we have received recently came in the form of joint gifts from Carnegie Mellon professors Jose Mura and Manuela Veloso, and Carnegie Mellon alumnus Alek Kavchik and his wife Sophia. Their collective gift of $19.5 million to the university to support education and research activities in data science and engineering and create a new endowed fund to support inventors at Carnegie Mellon reflects their deep commitment to this university. It also reflects the opportunities and support this university delivers to its faculty, students, and staff. These critical resources come as we pursue the broad but equally vital undertaking to enhance the CMU experience. That means delivering the most secure, supportive, and nurturing environment possible that strengthens our community. I see the CMU experience as having two distinct but interrelated dimensions. The personal dimension in environment and infrastructure that allows each of us to live healthy, fulfilling lives, and a community dimension that creates a united sense of spirit and purpose, or a dimension that many of us would like to call one CMU. Our most recent development in this endeavor has been a report from the President's Advisory Board for the CMU Experience, a standing committee which met for the first time last October. The PAB has identified 3 areas of focus: change the stress culture, define and deliver the CMU experience, create the one CMU experience. This report provides important direction and context for our work, seen through fresh eyes and independent external perspectives, and measured against best practices across the nation. We will look to implement measures that will address the External Advisory Board's advice by interfacing it with the work of the internal task force for the CMU experience, which includes representatives from all facets of the university community: faculty, staff, students, faculty senate, staff council, and student bodies. And this task force has already begun delivering invaluable improvements that will impact the daily lives of our students. We have a lot more work to do, and the work of this task force will continue. The CMU experience efforts are improving the academic and advising infrastructure of the university by exploring improved course management, providing students with greater course information, and reviewing how course workloads align with credits earned to increase student success. And building a community for our international students and their families is also equally important. We have created a new host family program for international students this year. Within the first few months of its existence, It has matched 73 students, international students, with 40 host families who serve as hosts. And we expect these numbers to increase significantly based on the initial interest that we have received, both from students and from the host families. There was a reception held for them just a couple of weeks ago, and it was wonderful to be part of that event to see the excitement and the impact that will come out of it in the not-too-distant future. Our experiential and programmatic enhancements will have greater significance with the improvements we are making to campus infrastructure, which help build community and allow us to do our very best work. These improvements and renovations are taking shape all over campus, large and small, to improve the daily academic environment for faculty and students. A great example of this is the renovation of the Sorrells Engineering and Science Library in Wien Hall, which has significantly expanded the amount of study and collaboration space for students. Yesterday, there was an opening of this, and it was wonderful to see the excitement in the face of students, along with Keith Webster and Farnham Jahanian and others, on what an impact a seemingly small change in an area can create for a large number of students. The quality of the places where we work, learn, and discover also has a profound impact on the quality of the CMU experience. With that in mind, the university is pursuing a historic expansion of its infrastructure and upgrade of its classroom spaces, including the renovation of at least 10 classrooms in 2018-2019 academic year in Posner Hall GSIA that will be made available to the entire university community, and the addition of 23 classrooms in the new building at Tepper Quadrangle and the Hamburg Hall. These developments, along with the opening of the TCS building, also in 2018, the ANSYS Hall, and the recently opened Scott Hall, also add new maker spaces and collaborative spaces for the entire campus community. Central to all these efforts is the general health and well-being of all of us in the Carnegie Mellon University community. I'm delighted to report to you, and I mentioned this yesterday in the email, last week, the Board of Trustees approved the creation of a new health and wellness center for the campus. This state-of-the-art center will not only double the size of CMU's current health and wellness facilities, it will also allow us to reconceive wellness much more broadly, with programming that supports physical, mental, and emotional health, student success, counseling and mentoring, community engagement, and one CMU. This is a major investment that will put CMU at the forefront of student support in the years to come. By adding outstanding talent and improving the quality of the CMU experience, we'll be well positioned to tackle the third of our strategic objectives, building excellence across the university. We start with a great advantage. Consider for a moment the pillars of the fourth industrial revolution, which I mentioned earlier, that were pioneered at Carnegie Mellon University. They were all grounded in deep, scholarly, fundamental, scientific research all across the university. At Carnegie Mellon, that unilateral excellence will be built on our historic commitment to science. This foundation, combined with technology, business, policy, design, fine arts, social sciences, architecture, entrepreneurship, and humanities, makes this a great research university, well positioned to have a powerful impact on the 21st century human condition. While we have always emphasized science and encouraged interdisciplinary science, our faculty are now much more actively engaged in encouraging students to expand outside of their colleges and schools and reach out to other areas of intellectual pursuit while they are getting deep disciplinary degrees. In just the past few months, Our scholarly excellence was evident in a number of faculty, alumni, and programmatic accolades. We have a long list. I'll just mention a few of them. Professor David Creswell received the American Psychosomatic Society's 2017 Herbert Wiener Early Career Award. Professor Andrei Strovas received the 2016 Phil Kaufman Award for distinguished contributions to electronic system design from the Electronic System Design Alliance and the IEEE Council on Electronic Design Automation. And Professor Takeyo Kanade became the first Carnegie Mellon University professor to receive the 2017 IEEE Founders Medal. Additionally, we've seen CMU recognized by industry and NGOs and through achievements of our alumni. Argo AI, founded by former CMU staff and students, located right here in Pittsburgh with other offices in different parts of the country, received an investment of more than $1 billion from Ford just a couple of weeks ago. Carnegie Mellon University was chosen to co-host 2 symposia in partnership with the Carnegie Endowment for International Peace last fall in the areas of digital governance and security. And several alumni were part of the production crew that saw Fences receive an Academy Award nomination for Best Picture just last Sunday. Please join me in celebrating the amazing accomplishments of our faculty, staff, and students. I want to close by reiterating Carnegie Mellon University's commitment to diversity. And in a community like ours, there are so many dimensions to diversity. Within the past year, our campus community has continued to foster diversity and inclusion through a number of new and expanded efforts, such as the open forums hosted across the campus to discuss topics related to diversity, anti-bias training sessions based on best practices from across the country, and the formation of the most diverse senior leadership team in our university's history. We also are recommitting ourselves to creating pipeline programs that prepare students from underserved and underrepresented communities for a rigorous higher education, whether it's at Carnegie Mellon University or elsewhere. This year, we will double the size of CMU's Summer Academy for Math and Science program. And work is already underway, and I understand from Amy Burkett, the interest is also significantly up based on this initial announcement. From a national and global perspective, CMU joined several other top-flight US research universities in an amicus brief that provided unique perspectives on the presidential executive order on immigration a few weeks ago. This amicus brief contains 2 paragraphs submitted by AAU, and the Ivy Plus groups contains 2 paragraphs taken from my email to the CMU campus community in late January. Additionally, our student leaders have also hosted an open forum just a couple of weeks ago to discuss issues of immigration. And on a personal note, this issue is of paramount importance to me, as my personal and professional journey over the past 40 years were made possible by the historically welcoming immigration policies of this country. With that, I would like to thank you for your attention. I want to thank all of you for attending, and those of you joining us online, I want to thank you for watching. And I look forward to continuing to work with all of you to make Carnegie Mellon University even greater, not just for our community, but equally importantly for the future of the world. Thank you, and I look forward to seeing you at the reception, which will follow this immediately. Thank you.
Once again, our thanks to all of you for taking time out of busy days to join us. As Dr. Suresh said, we are going to have some refreshments and a chance to continue the conversation informally in back. Please stick around, and we'll be around and look forward to talking to you, and we look forward to seeing you at next fall's town hall. Thank you.